To the 25 people possibly watching this, I just want to say, first of all, thank you. I've been gone, man. I have been gone. Now, I'm a pretty private person, I would say. And I just obviously had to come on here because I didn't want to abandon any of my viewers, man. Like, it has been a wild 3 years for me. I've only touched on it just a few times throughout the whole span, but I'm ready to finally talk about it because things are finally falling into place for me. And I want to address what that means for my channel and what that means going forward, of course. Now, I wanted to first state I'm not stopping YouTube. It is something that I've been enjoying doing, but obviously mentally taxing. And with what I was going through already, I couldn't essentially continue to do it consistently. That's why I always disappeared and came back. And even now, I disappeared this time, not even for like terrible reasons or anything. It's just, I don't know. I really wasn't enjoying Sparking Zero like that, and I really couldn't stick with it, and I didn't have a reason to kind of keep going. And I do what I always do. When things aren't looking too hot for a certain topic or something like that, I kind of just stop. And looking back on my channel, I've always noticed that things that I do always tend to pop off a little bit later. So I gotta just get better with my consistency. But let's get to the meat and potatoes, man. I've been gone for a better portion of the first half of this year, 2025. I posted Sparking Zero, obviously, back when it came out, and I posted every day with it for a little bit, and then it just stopped. Essentially, let me just start with the last 3 years. This is my testimony, and this is why, right now I'm going to state that I'm a Christian. I just want to get it out the way right then and there. So if that turns you off, you can bounce. I don't even care. But I want to state that things are not always as they seem. And the Lord literally always points it out to you. Sometimes it just takes you going through something to see it. And let me start with 3 years ago, man. 3 years ago. This is so hard for me to talk about, and there's a reason I didn't talk about it during the 3 years, of course, that it was happening. But 3 years ago, my wife decided she had enough, and it was understandable. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I think the basis is that she got tired, and the strain in our marriage was a lot, and she decided what was best was to leave. And I essentially had to let her go. And the thing, though, is I couldn't. This drove me to do very drastic things to myself. And of course, it hurt the people around me and things like that. And again, I'm not trying to get too deep into it because, again, I'm still pretty private, and I don't care for everybody to know all of my business. But this is my testimony. This is part of it. But year one of that was probably that was the toughest thing I've ever had to deal with. And I have no idea how I even made it through, except for our Lord and Savior above, Jesus Christ. All praise to the All High. That's all I can say right there at that point. But obviously the first, me trying to attempt to do and stay consistent with YouTube was tough. I lost my home, essentially. I had to go get an apartment, and I was doing YouTube from that apartment. And of course, I still wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be. I had all what seemed like all the time in the world, but in all actuality, I was depressed. I felt like I couldn't do anything, and it just hurt. Then year two came around, and I started trying, man. I tried to live, man. I did. I really did. I met people. I got around a little bit. I started doing things that weren't healthy for me, but I was trying. I was attempting to continue on my path, knowing that I wasn't going to be a husband anymore. I wasn't going to necessarily have a full family. And of course, what I mean by full family, if some of you didn't know, I do have 2 kids with my wife. And, you know, as time was going on, you know, of course I was praying through this. I was praying through the storm, and it felt like nothing was working. But I always had a nagging feeling. I always had a nagging feeling that things were going to be okay in a sense. So also during that second year, I went homeless. Had to essentially lose my apartment, and I was living in my car to get out of debt. Don't ever get divorced, man, or go through a separation, man. It causes a massive strain on money and on mental health. And you know, during that second year, that was probably the hardest time of my life. You know, I was living in my car. I was just trying to make it through, man, and things seemed very, very hopeless. But of course, I feel like God always sent me signs. He always sent me signs that things are going to be all right, or I met people, and through them, I noticed like God was working through me a little bit. And it's just like, man, this is just how things were supposed to kind of go, so that I could get back, you know. And you know, living in my car and kind of losing people around me because they couldn't help me was it was just tough, man. It was super, super tough. And I just, again, I get back to saying I have no idea how I made it out of that. And I'm sitting here thinking about it because here I am now, and I'm pretty fine. I'm pretty good, and there's reasons for it. But that second year, that was the most stress. That was the longest break on YouTube I did, of course, since ever starting. And obviously, for obvious reasons, sometimes I would update you guys with Sparking Zero videos because, you know, the game wasn't quite out yet. But I knew for a fact that when that game got announced, I said I had to kick it in the overdrive. So I was living in my car and I was door dashing. I was making money to, you know, get back on my feet. And then I got another apartment in October. And that right there, man, that is where I said I'm going to get back on my grind with YouTube and things are going to be great. But that nagging feeling was always there, my wife. Something about it just didn't seem right. Something about it just was like, I can't let her go still. And throughout the 3 years even, I was always trying to make sure that she knew that I was going to be here pretty much. And, you know, not even 2 months ago, guess who calls me, guys? My wife. And she never filed for the divorce, and neither did I. And so we're back, and I've been focused, right? I'm in school now. I'm just doing better. These are very, very, I've shortened the events a lot. And this video at this point is all over the place because I don't even know what I want to say all the way. I don't know what I want to truly reveal. But just know that I'm okay. But also that I don't even know what I want to necessarily do with my YouTube channel anymore because I don't even play games like that anymore. I've noticed that I've had a very crazy decline when it comes to being good at certain games, especially like these anime games. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero to me is I'm not good at it. And when I'm not good at something, I don't have fun with it. Interestingly enough, like there are some people who can play a game, be bad, and still enjoy what they're doing. I am not one of those people. So with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero specifically, I just haven't been enjoying myself because I'm not that good at it. And that kind of just sucks. But also at the same time, I'm not playing video games like that anymore. So I don't know necessarily what I want to do with my channel at this point. But what I do know is that my 8-year-old son would love to do YouTube. He wants to be just like me. And I'm thinking there may be some sort of a passing of a torch where I take him under my wing and maybe pass on the channel to him, or maybe through my consistency and my love for him and the hobby of gaming, we blow up, and then he can basically, you know, become something off the back of me, which I would love, man. I don't know, but just know that it's not necessarily over for YouTube. It's just that I'm ready to go in a different direction with this. And this has been my testimony through and through. The Lord has saved me, and I'm back, man. I'm back. I'm better. And God's on my side. My wife's on my side. My kids are on my side. Though she put me through hell, it was needed. It was needed to transform me into something that can sustain, something that can become better or do better. And that's what I needed. So I'm putting this video out there to say, yeah, we're back. I just don't know how quite yet. So thanks, man. Thanks for the ride, guys. I don't know how we're going to evolve necessarily right now with the channel and everything, but just know better things are coming, more things are coming. I'm not sure this is even a YouTube gaming channel anymore at this point, but we will see. I'm just excited for this new path. So yeah, but anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please remember that God and anime are always on your side. Please come join the Bandit Army. That's all I got for you. Peace out.